So the meat and nuts breakfast. This is the first thing I put my clients through when we talk about modifying their diet or their nutrition plan. Meat and nuts breakfast. I don't care whether your goal is to lean up, improve athletic performance, or just build muscle. Meat and nuts breakfast is going to apply to you on many different levels. So the meat contains an amino acid called tyrosine, and nuts contain choline. Combine these two ingredients and you have the foundations for dopamine and acetylcholine, which are two neurotransmitters that are going to improve your drive and your focus. So this will help you to be more compliant with your food throughout the day. It will improve your cognitive performance. It'll improve your performance overall. So this is something that influences your entire day. They've done studies on high glycemic breakfasts such as donuts and coffee or carbohydrate, and a high fat, high protein breakfast, and how that influences behavior and food choices throughout the day. And the group that had the high fat, high protein performed much better throughout the rest of the day, making better food choices, and thus that can lead to better, faster, more consistent results. So the meat and nuts, that's the first thing you need to modify and make it a staple. Meat, it can be any variety. I prefer red meat. I'll do ground bison or ground beef, grass-fed beef patties. Those are usually my go-to. You can go with other meats as well, such as poultry, fish, smoked salmon. There's many ways to create variety within your meals, and it could just be simply protein sources. You can throw eggs in there every once in a while, though I'm not big on eggs as being a staple in the diet because many people have intolerances to eggs, more specifically the egg whites, and it can cause gut dysbiosis and other inflammatory issues. So I tend to stick with meat, and with the nuts, I will go with variety on nuts as well. Cashews, pistachios, macadamia. Right now I got a bag of pistachios and a bag of macadamia, so I just kind of cycle through every other day with different choices of nuts. I will say peanuts are not a nut, so eliminate that from your diet. There's a lot of people who are intolerant to peanuts as well, so that's something you stay away from. So just a healthy nut. You can cook it in the pan with the meat, which really softens it up. It's really good. The fat tends to loosen it up a little bit, and it tastes really good with the meat. It's a good combination. Add some salt to your liking, and it's a good breakfast. Common complaints that I get is variety. People think that they need to stick with just red meat and do that all the time. This is not the case. You can add variety. Mix up your protein sources. Mix the way you cook it. Do you cook it in butter? Do you cook it just on the skillet without any additional fat? There's many ways to do that, and to add spices and different flavorings. As long as they're natural, you're good to go. I typically just do salt, and that does the trick for me. So this is not only going to impact your drive and your focus and your ability to be compliant to a healthy diet, it's also going to influence your energy. So when you have a low glycemic meal, such as fat and protein from the meat and nuts, you're going to manage your insulin much more effectively throughout the rest of the day. You'll manage your energy much more effectively, so you'll have longer sustaining energy throughout the day. So that's how it improves your drive, your energy, and your focus. With the combination of a low glycemic meal, high protein, and the necessary tools to give you that drive and focus throughout the rest of the day. So I'll give you a test that you can do at home and compare between the two breakfasts. One that's carb rich, and then have the meat and nuts breakfast. So first meal, carb rich. Rate your cognitive performance on a scale of 1 to 10. Rate your energy on a scale of 1 to 10. And with your second meal, or the second breakfast, the meat and nuts breakfast the day after, compare and see how much more cognitive performance and energy you have after 30 minutes after the meat and nuts breakfast. Chances are things will improve with the meat and nuts. I've done this with my son, my 8-year-old son. I let him eat cereal, and then I go, hey, try this breakfast. And then we went a couple days on and off with that. And then I asked him what he wanted for breakfast, and he's like, cereal. And I'm like, let me bring up a point here. How do you feel when you eat cereal? Kind of sluggish, tired. How do you feel when you eat the meat and nuts? Do you feel sluggish and tired? I asked it in that way just to kind of make a distinction. And he goes, no, I don't. He's like, I'll go with the meat and nuts. So now it's just a staple in our household. We go with the meat and nuts breakfast, whether you're a kid or me. So I urge you to do the same and do it with the people around you, and you'll see a big difference. Thank you.